appreciate you tuning in and checking out this presentation. So we will go ahead and get started with falling in love with social media and how to do it, why to do it. So why should you give a damn about social media to begin with? Well, in 2021, there were about 4 billion active users across social media platforms, and that number only increases every year. Um, So if the numbers alone aren't enough for you to get inspired about social media, you want something else. Creative thinking is crucial because it helps you come up with fresh concepts and improve your performance as a writer. In a profession such as writing, where innovation and originality are required around the clock pretty much, maintaining motivation and inspiration can be challenging. But the great thing about social media is anyone can find some kind of motivation from people of all walks of life by searching specific hashtags or using sites like Tumblr and Pinterest. Finding yourself uninspired, I've always recommended turning to social media for a dose of motivation. I know there can be a lot of negativity out there on social media, but there is also a lot of stuff that serves as good inspiration for you. Not just as a professional sense, but also in a personal sense and a personal worth and self goal. And we'll get into that a little bit more. Um, but also building a community. We live in a world where so many people spend all of their time online, so it's not hard to imagine a subculture devoted to anything, from lesbian Viking romance authors to collectors of literary memorabilia. So, what this means is the social media provides a key to discovering a community in which one feels accepted and at home. Take, for instance, the writing community on Twitter and Instagram, or Book Talk on TikTok. The social media allows you to communicate with people from all over the world, and there's always a way to talk to people who share your interests no matter what time zone you're in. So being able to build a little community that isn't it's not really little once you get to building it. I've built out this community of writers, and not just within Tea with Coffee, but within my own personal brand. And we've developed so much together as a team, and that's been the biggest thing for me is being able to build a community and find these people who inspire me. But I also like to show off a little bit. Each of the main five love languages supported in some way by social media. Okay, no, not everyone gets to wake up loving their job every day and looking forward to going to work. That's why it's crucial to have a platform upon which you can exhibit your genuine interest and purist. But where else but social media could this happen? You can use this space to label people in your life who share interest or who you think you would enjoy your post. Instagram as a social media platform is primarily designed to showcase visual content. It's a wonderful place to show off your photography skills, or if you're more of a poet, you could use Twitter to share visual representation of your work. Being able to express yourself creatively in this way and then talk about it with people who understand. Being able to say, this is who I am, and show off your writing skills, show off your photography skills, your art skills, whatever it may be. Just show off a little bit, and other people will give you those different forms of validation that people look for in their main love languages. Really the only one that you can't get through social media is touch. Um, so yeah, but then that goes into what I'm saying next in self-acceptance. It's no secret that the internet is full of trolls and hate speech, like I mentioned earlier, but it's also full of people who want nothing more than for you to be authentic and true to yourself. A great example of this is Nikki from In the Pantheon. She's a wonderful role model for someone who treats others with kindness and positivity. That's all she does is she's there to lift people up and support people. It's people like her that teach people how to love themselves and to be appreciated again. It's only a matter of time before we find these people. We just have to actively engage with them and find them. Instagram and Twitter users have been using the hashtag mental health matters over 8 million times. So this is just evidence that, with mental health, I'm a huge mental health person, that many people are starting to recognize the significance of mental health and are willing to discuss it more openly online in a public forum than they have ever before. And social media has allowed that self acceptance because they realize that they're not alone in the world in their struggles. But also knowledge. Knowledge is key sometimes. Knowledge is the best way to improve your intelligence and creativity. And Albert Einstein once said, "Creativity is intelligence at play." People on social media often offer helpful advice on a wide variety of topics. That could include from how to improve your diet, the history of the toothbrush, how to bury somebody, how to murder somebody. As a writer, we know all of the weird things that pop up. But most notably, this holds true for video uploads to the platform like TikTok. Information has never been more accessible and at your fingers. You can look up topics using hashtags, and your friends and family can drop a video with some interesting trivia right in your DMs. So you can always learn more with things like TikTok and Twitter and Facebook. Is there a wave of misinformation out there? Absolutely. But even without social media, we're going to have waves of misinformation from traditional lines of media, from word of mouth media. We're always going to have misinformation that we have to wade through. It's just knowing how to wade through it and knowing the truth from the false. Okay, but how does this benefit you as an author? Well, social media helps you connect directly with your readers. There are many, many benefits to these channels, and we'll get into some very deeper stuff a little bit later on in this presentation. But probably one of the most obvious things is that authors can interact with their audiences in new and exciting ways with social media. Even if you haven't had your work published yet, you can still learn a lot about your target audience and their taste by chatting with them. You can figure out what it is that they like, what it is that will attract them whenever you're looking for ways to market yourself to your audience. So social media essentially is a chance for your audience to get to know you and your writing style before publication. After publication, social media becomes even more important than your website almost, as a means for readers to learn more about you. That's why this is so crucial. Today's readers want more from their reading experience than just words on a page. They're interested in the writer and want to learn more about them. Kelsey and Lovelady, our vice president of marketing, and I had a very interesting topic about separating the art from the artist. And I think that's, harder to do nowadays because so many people do love connecting art to the artist and knowing the artist behind the art before they ever get to know the art. So the realization of this fact does not come easily to me. Um, I wonder why people take interest in me as a writer. Why can't they just want a good story to read? While they enjoy a good story, though, they're also interested in learning more about you, about me. If you're a writer and you're not active on social media, well, you're robbing your readers of the sense of connection they crave. You can also lead readers to your book. In my mind, social media is like a huge get together. In the same way, this also occurs on social media. If you've ever established a rapport with friends um, that enjoy your writing style, you might consider sending them a copy of your book or sending them a link to your book. As a result, they will learn more about you in your own home. You've built these connections through this get together on social media. So, with the help of social media, you're able to get to know each other on a larger scale before committing to um, a different, transactionary level. Also, writing communities. My main gripe with online networking is the vast majority of my friends are also authors. Why do I need so many writer friends if I want to get published? Uh, Probably don't, but The desire to belong to a group of fellow authors motivates me. Only other writers can truly understand the struggles that we go through every single day of the writing life, and they are the only ones that can be there for you, unlike anybody else. And it's great to have a group so close at hand. They're always just a mouse click away, and there will always be someone to talk to. We talked about earlier about how it's so many different um, time zones that you're able to make contact with, whether it's advice, comfort, or just simply listening. And that's something we can all use. I've built some of my best friends through writing communities. Caitlin, Kelsey, and Victoria are all people I've met through the writing community, and we've built friendships and developed business partnerships, and here we are. The last piece that is hidden by the GIF that I put in there and did not proofread, apparently, is hone your skills. So in the end, it's always good to get practice for writing for an audience. Social media is a great place to do that because these are your potential readers. Everyone, writers included, should treat social media like a stage and post accordingly. People are putting forth the views and attitudes and personas that they wish to project to the world. So, to hone your skills as writing for an audience, take advantage of the platform that social media provides. Don't publish incoherent content. Put up updates about your writing and your hobbies, and show off your personality. Show off who you are. For example, what I do is I like to write beer reviews and show off a little bit about myself. And of course, I still have a couple of short one-liners and some jokes here and there, but whenever you have a chance to almost blog on social media, that's where you really want to take advantage of honing your writing skills. So last month we talked about branding, and I mentioned that branding was going to be a pivotal part of almost every presentation that we give in this series this year. So how is the social media connected to your branding? Well, if you've got a website, it can increase website traffic. A benefit of social media that often goes unnoticed is site traffic from people who want to find your content via social media rise consistently when you're sharing engaging content. The title of your most recent blog, along with a link to it, or a book that you're getting ready to publish that's out for pre-order, posting things like that. So they come across it not just when you share it, but also when others like it, retweet it, repost it, whatever it may be. Um, it also improves your SEO. That's such search engine optimization. We're going to have a class on that a little bit later in the year, so we'll get a little bit deeper into what that is and how to increase that. But basically, optimizing for social media search engine or for social media is a part of a larger SEO strategy. When a post that you've written gets a lot of attention, whether through retweets or plus ones on Google Plus or reactions on Facebook or likes on Instagram, search engines take notice of that. Given its popularity on social media, the post is more likely to appear in Google search results. So not only can your website's overall ranking improve, but more traffic to your social media causes your Google index to be higher. So we also have brand awareness. Social media can help authors further establish themselves as experts in their field. If you follow the advice presented here, you'll soon have the larger, more engaged fan base and a reputation as a go-to authority in your field. But you can also attract attention. Writers who have amassed sizable online fan bases can use that to their advantage. Media professionals like podcasters and bloggers who want to interview you, possible sponsorships for the future, and publishers who want to buy the rights for your books will all take notice if you already have an established fan base. The more popular you become on social media, the more doors open for you. So how do you cultivate a community? My goal on social media is not to make money, but expand my fan base. 95% or more of the things I post to social media are genuinely helpful to people who read them or make people feel like they're not alone or give them a good laugh. They're helpful in some way. I only really promote my own books and products and services about 5% of the time. If you put in the effort to cultivate a dedicated following, members of that group will jump at the chance to take part in future endeavors. So things like buying your books and being part of ARC readers and beta readers for you. Um, it just opens up a ton of new opportunities whenever you're able to cultivate that community. That's something you're going to see a lot of throughout this presentation is community, because it's such a big part of social media and such an invaluable piece that can't really be replaced by anything else. So, how do you get people to interact and follow you? A little bit of love is all it takes. Loyalty. In time, a person you've been communicating with on social media will come to trust you, which will inspire loyalty on your part. People who are familiar with you and your work will actively seek you out on social media. You also want to be open, and this is the best course of action. Be genuine and honest. There's no need to spill the beans about your entire life, but just share some information about yourself with your readers so they can feel a deeper connection to the author of their favorite book. Maintain some levels of privacy, but do share relevant information in a consistent manner. When I travel, I like to share photos and videos, but not all of them. I share the ones that are most visually attractive. The lack of chaos makes it a good venue for shy authors to shine just a little bit more in their more outgoing activities. But you also want to provide value. You want to offer something that will make people want to find you and keep coming back. You can tease your readers with excerpts from your book on your blog, tweet a great line from the book you're reading. As part of your research, you can have a leg up on your competition because they can leverage your unique blend of talent, intelligence, and charisma to succeed. In order to keep your followers engaged, you should always give them something to use, whether it's information or fun. Jess, one of our authors, does a excellent job of interacting with, nice little quips and jokes, and it just makes her followers feel like I know for me personally, it gives me a good laugh. BR, one of our newer authors, he does some great interaction based tweets on Twitter where he reaches out and asks questions and does book cover challenges. So things like that provide value to your followers. But you also want to build expertise. With Google authorship and author rankings, Google is making significant changes to the online searches. These features connect your blog, website, social media. It's a whole new kind of social SEO. That means that the quality of your online content, including your blog posts, your social media updates, have a direct impact on how visible you are in Google search results. Your social media network will almost certainly boost your reputation among your friends or followers. Expertise in a particular field can get you invited to great interviews on podcasts, blogs, live streams, and these are wonderful for your expertise and your reputation. The catch is you probably shouldn't label yourself something like an iguana expert in your bio unless you write books on iguanas. But, you know, if you're an iguana expert, go ahead and label yourself an iguana expert. So, what do you need? First things first, you need a clear target audience. Your intentions must be crystal clear and content must resonate within the target demographic. If you're writing a book about managing food allergies, be sure to include sections on things like spotting sneaky allergies, eating out safely, and making safe meals at home. You'll lose your reader's attention if you start rambling about your recent vacation or the steps in the samba instead of sticking to the subject at hand. So being able to make sure that you're engaging with your followers for the content that they came for and not making up stuff that you just don't know what you're talking about and makes it look like you're only doing it for a certain subset. Consistent content creation. Successful social media marketing relies on a steady stream of high quality posts. Our company recommends at least a weekly blog post, though more is better. Videos, podcasts, excerpts from books can also be helpful. The point is to establish yourself as a go to expert in your field, and one way to do that is consistently produce high quality content, which again helps drives traffic to your social media, drives traffic to your website, and boosts that social SEO. But perhaps one of the most important things that you need is commitment. And that's what many people fail to do, and then wonder why their social media efforts aren't fruitful. They don't commit to posting like they should. The success of your social media effort truly does depend on your willingness to put in the work every day. You should update your various social media accounts like Facebook, Google LinkedIn, Pinterest 3 to 5 times a week, and tweet multiple times a day. And Twitter is ideal for all authors. And this entails not only reading and responding to comments, but also actively seeking out and making contact with others who share interests in order to expand your network. So let's talk about some of the platforms that we commonly use. And so Twitter has about 330 million monthly users. 60% male, 40% female worldwide, but it's about 50-50 in the USA, and 80% of users are under 50. So that's really your young adult, new adult target that you're really going for. Um, so as an author, there are two main uses for Twitter. First, to stay in touch with the wider writing world, and second, to promote yourself in your books. Twitter has many benefits for authors, including the ability to expand one's social network, promotes one's own work by retweeting other tweets and promoting works of various hashtags, and building an audience for one's own work. Some great uses for Twitter are connecting with the wider writing world by tagging your tweets with hashtags such as am writing or writing community, getting involved with landmark events in the writing world like NaNoWriMo, promoting writers you admire by following them and retweeting their content, expressing your thoughts and feelings within Twitter's, you know, limited character count. I don't know what it is anymore. I know it was 280 at one point, and then I think for Twitter Blue you can do a crazy amount now. But replying to fans who mention you or your books. That's always a good way to connect with your fans and get other people to pay attention is by saying, "Hey, thanks for reading my book." It shows that you actually care and there's a person behind the book. Instagram has about 27 million users. That demographic is 43% female, 31% male, where gender is known and but there is no non-binary data available. Age data is 18 to 24-year-olds are about 30%, 25 to 34-year-olds about 34%, and only about 16% for 35 to 44. So the main purpose of Instagram is to share visual content. Instagram has continued its visual emphasis by introducing video stories and creative clips like boomerangs and reels, which many believe stem from the app's initial success with image filters. Instagram's appeal stems in large part from the fact that it is so easy to find and explore new content. It's common practice for Instagram users to follow accounts they aren't already familiar with and explore one of the app's most popular features. It's important to not let Instagram's visual nature intimidate you, though. Quotes set against backgrounds are just one type of visual that don't put you in front of the camera. Some good uses for Instagram are speaking live to an audience of your followers to answer their questions as an AMA or carry out a virtual book reading. Share images of your life as a writer, such as your writing environment or any travel adventures you may have in your writing life. Also, promoting your book by sharing visual content such as your book cover, text based images, or artwork created specifically for your book. We all know about Facebook. 1.69 billion worldwide. Average user, though, is a little bit higher than the rest. The average user is about 41 years old in the USA. Genre is about 50-50, 56-46. Um, and Facebook's widespread has both positive and negative aspects. Paid promotion is often necessary if you want your Facebook posts to be seen by the site's billion plus users. Many Facebook users have also noticed that the average age of most active users is higher than that of the general population. This is probably because younger generations like millennials and Gen Zs are ditching older social media sites like this for the more modern ones like Twitter and TikTok. By setting up a page, you can take advantage, though, of Facebook's business tools like paid advertising and its social features like being featured in users' news feeds organically. So, like I said, some of the big uses: paid advertising for your book. One of the main reasons to use Facebook is the huge number of users the platform has and the ability to target them through paid advertising. This may be used to sell copies of your books or just grow your author platform in general. Participating in relevant groups is also helpful, and scheduling events. You can use Facebook scheduling capabilities to promote virtual or in person events to people and track attendance through the built in RSVP feature. We do that for our book signings, and we always invite our authors' Facebook pages to be a co host on our Facebook events, so we can do more with that with our authors. Goodreads is one that a lot of authors often forget about or just don't know about. There's about 90 million, and if you're an author looking for the best place to promote your book, Goodreads is where you should start. Why? It's pretty simple. Everyone associated with the site is a bookworm of some type. While other social media sites like Facebook and Instagram may have more users overall, only a small percentage of those people are actually readers. Everyone on Goodreads is a reader, so it's easy to gauge the breadth of interest in even the most niche of genres. Some great uses for Goodreads are giving away copies of your book. It's possible to give away free copies of your book on other social media platforms, but Goodreads has a dedicated feature for doing so. You can also answer reader questions. If you manage to build up a respectable following on Goodreads, they're likely to be some of the most engaged followers you have out of any of your social media platforms. There's a special feature that actually allows you to create a dialogue with them around answering questions. You also want to keep your finger on the pulse. Some of the most dedicated and engaged readers on the planet are more active on Goodreads than they are anywhere else. You can see the kind of reviews they leave for books in your genre and other genres and get a feel of what the readers really want. YouTube is a big one. 2 billion users worldwide. I think it's actually the most popular social media site. Um, but it is also the highest barrier to entry. Everyone can write a tweet, but not everyone has the motivation or resources to make a true YouTube video that actually gets views. But don't automatically rule it out just because it doesn't seem like a good fit at first. Authors can use YouTube in creative and unique ways. When used properly, YouTube can be a lucrative source of income for authors. Some authors enjoy creating trailers for their new books. If this is something that interests you, it's a type of video content suitable for your YouTube that doesn't require you to get in front of the camera. We create trailers for all of our authors' books, and we would welcome them to put it on their own YouTube channels if they wanted. If you appear at or have plans to appear at events for writers and readers, either virtually or offline, YouTube's the perfect place to share some footage of your contribution and show off your speaking skills or your abilities or your expertise. Perhaps you like sharing either details of your writing life or general progress on a specific project. If you do, vlogging on YouTube might also be a good fit for you. If you don't know what vlogging is, it's basically blogging but with video. Sticking with the video theme, uh, TikTok totals about 2 billion users globally as well. They are quickly becoming one of the um, fastest growing and most popular social media channels out there. And if you want to be on the cutting edge of social media, you're going to want to check out TikTok. Users of TikTok simply create and share short videos, but it's new, it's politically divisive, its longevity is open, but despite that, the fact is it's still currently one of the fastest growing platforms. Due to its youth, though, best practices for creators on TikTok are still being formulated. But if you want to be successful, you should think about whether or not one of these common types of content is a good fit for your needs. The music of writing. TikTok is heavily associated with music, and lip syncing and other similar music based content still performs well. Could you share a playlist you're writing for? Could you do a nice aesthetics video with some music behind it? Fun and humor is also big on TikTok. A lot of users see TikTok as the spiritual successor to Vine. Do you have a fun personality or a sense of humor that you could convey through short videos? Also, social causes. I like to use mine personally for mental health. TikTok has a reputation for being a very progressively political and is largely aligned with the social causes held dear by younger generations like Gen Z. So, is there a good fit between what you believe in this type of content? If there is, definitely worth checking out TikTok. And our final one that we're going to look at tonight is Pinterest. Basically, Pinterest describes itself as a visual discovery engine, and that's a pretty apt description for how it's used by authors. Pinterest allows content creators like authors to organize their work into virtual bulletin boards or boards. When you click on the board, you see a number of pins, and each one represents a single piece of content. Pinterest users can learn about new material by using the site's search bar, following relevant hashtags, or viewing the repins of people they already followed. Some author uses for Pinterest. Pins can drive traffic to your author platform. For example, you could create an attractive pin for each author interview you have and then link out to the full post. You can give away free content related to the books directly on Pinterest. You might want to create pins to give away extracts of books or even entire free copies. Pinterest is also a great place to share inspiration and ideas, so if you teach or encourage the craft of writing, you're likely to find an audience there. And finally, just a couple of useful social media apps that we at Tea with Coffee use. Social Pilot is great if you want to schedule posts in advance. It saves you a lot of frustration and wasted time. There are many other scheduling tools out there like Social Pilot, such as Hootsuite, Orca, um, but Social Pilot just has been the one that personally I like best. Canva makes it easy to create attractive and shareable visual content for platforms such as Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I've even done TikToks on there. Even if you don't have any serious design skills, Canva has some great templates and great abilities that make it really easy for you to take care of. Snapseed is also really good. It's one I've just started using recently. It's good for improving filters and images on the go. It's free and it's easy to use. It keeps your content looking good, so using it in conjunction with Canva is always a great method. And finally, the Facebook Business Suite, formerly the Pages Manager. It helps you streamline everything for Facebook in one place: posting, commenting, reacting, replying to messages, updating page settings and images, and tracking statistics. It's got it all. So,